The moment I wake up. No, it is 9:11. I am your host of the Late Night Vibes, Sabian, and we will continue on from the episode that I gave you guys last. The last episode, if you caught up to it, was called Good Grief. Yeah. And so, what I said I was going to do, I was going to give you guys this level or the steps of grief, right? And then I did. I gave you the levels of grief. And then at the end of the last episode, if you watched it, I just went off. I cut it off for a reason. Believe it or not, the last ending of that podcast episode is actually on podcasters on Spotify, Apple, any streaming network, or that you can find it. So it's up there. But I will say this too now that I got your attention. I went over the different levels of grief, right? And I was hitting on the last video. The end of it was acceptance, and I didn't finish it at that part. And I will say acceptance is still something that I struggle with. I struggle with the fact that every day is like I have to cope with it now. Like, this is what I'm getting now. It is every day my father is gone. Sometimes it's kind of hard to really realize, like, damn, I'm never gonna see the guy. I don't want to say it again because I'm a spiritual man, but I'm never gonna get a chance to do or see his face a lot anymore. Excuse me. So, with that being said, though, although I struggle with acceptance, I also accept the fact that I will not sit here and pout and cry all the time. But sometimes I do get those sad moments. So I'm human. I know. Sabian's human. So yeah, sometimes it's pretty hard to accept the fact that my father is gone. But I will say this, that I'm doing really good with it. I'm okay. I'm gonna hang in the fight. I will say this though, I think when people ask me questions now about how am I doing, I would say this, that when you ask me how am I doing, for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be sad. Right? I'm gonna be sad the rest of my life. There's no way I can explain how this feels. Right? It's a 50-50 thing. Like, 1 minute I am good, the next minute I'm not. Right? It's just something that you just have to go along and just deal with it. So, I don't know, man. It's just, it is what it is. So if y'all expect to hear a different answer from me, I'll be lying to you. So, but before I get into the big chunk of the episode about what else I got to say on the topic of grief, I want you to subscribe, like, and comment on these episodes. We are getting a lot of traction from a lot of our old episodes, especially the Stacey Robinson episode. That episode is still doing numbers. People love that kind of content that we gave you guys. And if there is something else that you guys want to hear or talk about, let us know. Chris is still around, I promise you. We are working on something really big. And I think this one, the next, I don't want to say the next episode, but something we got to work on. But we're working on something that's going to be, I want to say, put Virginia in a different light, maybe. I feel like Virginia has a lot of talent. It has a lot of people that came out of Virginia sport wise, but there's a lot of things that happen in Virginia that really doesn't be talked about. Um, so my plan is to make this movie, you know, type of deal where, yeah, it's gonna be epic, man. So just hold on. We got something brewing, and yeah, a lot of good things is gonna happen soon. So we are the best podcast of the 757. We're gonna give you quality. We're gonna give you something that you really look forward to watching every time you turn on YouTube or Apple Music or excuse me, Apple Podcasting or podcasters on Spotify, whatever your platform that you use. We want you to be excited to listen to us. Okay, we don't want to just give you trash and crap. I think that's something that I struggle with. Like, yeah, I want to give you guys episodes, but I don't want to just give you trash. You get my drift? So I will try to give you guys quality, and I do need to be better at. I do need to be better at this. I guess I can do a better job at giving you guys more episodes and being consistent. So again, um, like, subscribe, comment, email me, hit me on Instagram, Light Skin Key Sweat or Late Night Vibe Podcast on Instagram. Let me know what you want to hear, what you think about the episodes. Okay, so I don't know how long this episode is going to be, but I'm giving you something from the heart. All right, I'm vulnerable. I'm yours, pause. And I want you to walk with me here, man. Walk with me. So, my father passed away, and I've been dealing with the stages of grief. And it has been a cycle that I cannot promise you that ends, right? There is no set standard for it. There's no way that you know when it's going to end it. Hell, even if it ever ends, I don't think it will because you're always going to have grief, right? But then I started to realize that there is another stage, and I've been trying to word it right. Um, I've been trying to word it right. And I remember I saw a quote and I said, man, that does sound pretty good. That sounds right. But like, y'all remember Cruella from the 101 Dalmatians? Um, something she mentioned about a quote about grief, and she said, but the last stage of grief is revenge. Sounds crazy. I took a damn quotation from a damn movie, a cartoon movie at that. And when I heard it and I saw it, I said, man, maybe that's something I've been doing this whole entire time after my father passed away, and I just never realized it. Like, I've been at work. So let me give you a story of my journey. My father passed away. I was a really big guy, right? I was drinking. I don't want to say excessively, but I would have a few more drinks than usual. I went to sleep, wake up, eat, drink more. I didn't really work out too much. I think I took a break. I know, crazy, right? I took a break from working out, and I would get some more food and drinks. I got up to about 255 pounds. Pretty big. I noticed my uniform was popping. I was like, man, I'm huge, but I guess I knew what was going on. So anyway, I had issues with um I had issues with anxiety. My anxiety was high, and I think I started realizing that around like late May to June, I kept overthinking a lot. Like, was something going on with my body? Oh my God, my father passed away at 61. I need to go get checked out for every single thing. So I went on this little medical rampage of just going to the doctor all the time and getting checked out for everything. I mean, I was just like, Doc, is it possible that I could have Parkinson's or dementia like at this early age? And like, yeah, it's not unheard of, but it's very rare. And blood, your protein levels, and I mean your blood, everything was checked out, right? And I was just going through it. And it was a part where I did not sleep for, I think, man, I don't know. It was days and months where I didn't sleep properly. I would close my eyes for like 30 minutes to an hour and I just couldn't sleep. And I think that caused a lot of other health issues because sleep is one of the most important aspects or things that you need on a day to day basis. Recovery, sleep, you need that or your body just can't function. So I was big. My diet was horrible, drinking a lot, smoke a few cigars here and there more than usual. And then I went to the doctor and they told me my blood pressure was high and my A1C level was borderline diabetic. So I was a pre diabetic. And so I don't know what triggered me to do this or what happened. I just went on like this body cleanse. Like I just figured that I need to do a better job. So in the process of doing that, I was also just finishing up school. I graduated my bachelor's degree finally, and at that time, running became like this coping mechanism for me. Now I know y'all see me that I run now, but when I tell you that running is a way for me to cope now more than ever, I mean that. Like, yeah, I run 10 miles here and there, or I'll run, but I'm like really focused on running. I got this Garmin watch that, shout out to my boy Jay and Petaway, that have been pressuring me to get one. Finally got me a Garmin watch that is really good for keeping how accurate my runs are. And so I really got into it. Like I just zoned out in this run for the hell of it. And running is my world. So it takes away all the anxiety, all the stress, all the unhappiness, all the bullshit that's going on in my world from a day-to-day basis, and I just run it all away. I'm not running from my problems, like I said in Black Boy Run, and book is still gonna come. But I'm not running from my problems. I'm actually just taking that energy and using it for my runs. And in the process, it's revenge. This process is called revenge. I've lost 40 pounds. I'm at two, I think I'm like 205, 206 just last week. So I lost about 40, 45 pounds or so. Still got more work to do. Um, like I said, I finished up my degree. At work, I was killing work. I was just doing everything. I mean, my evaluation spoke for itself. I did phenomenal. And I'm working on my master's now. I just signed up for these races. I'm gonna do a marathon next month, a full 26 miler. And I think also in the process of how I became this way, I was reading David Goggins' book again, Never Give Up. And then his first one, Can't Hurt Me. And reading those books, man, is something that just triggers you in a good way, right? And you know that resiliency is something that we speak about every single day. Military, day-to-day basis. We know resiliency is. We sometimes do not know how to get there. to that resilient point where you're just like, okay, these thoughts in my head, and what do I do about it, and how can I, the word they like to use, the term bounce back. And man, like, I don't want to say I'm like the most resilient person, but I think I am probably the definition of resilient right now. I am the definition of resiliency right now because I took what I was given this year in these last few years, and I took it and conquered those things, man. Like the book of Job in the Bible, where you might familiar with the book of Job. The devil came to God and said, you know, Job is only serving and praising your name because of all the blessings that you gave him. God said, no, I'll strip all of that away from him, and I bet you he still praises my name, and he won't question me, and he won't ask me why, and he won't turn his back on me. And I felt like Job because I felt like everything was taken away from me. Very similar, but I never questioned God. Never asked him why. I never said, God, take me, take X, Y, and Z. I never said any of those things. I just understand that God has a way and he has a path that we just cannot understand. And I think it's better if we don't. We aren't on his level. God gave us every single thing and he can take it all away. But you know what? That does not mean that you just sit down and question him and ponder and be sad forever. You got to get up. You got to be productive. Go do something that you want to do. But always praise God. That's my message on that one. Praise God no matter what. So yeah, revenge in a good way. All right. Now I'm not being spiteful. A lot of people can be spiteful when it comes to grief. You don't have to grieve like lose a person of them dying. You can grieve a person that you broke up with relationship wise. So you can have revenge by going out there and being successful and being everything that they want you to be or everything that you want to be, and they might look like that's enticing. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but you've seen it. Like a lot of relationships end, and either the gal or the guy is at the gym, and now they're six packed up, or the girl's like, she's cut up and looking good, and now the guy want her back. Yeah. So, anyways, my revenge story will be just being successful for my father and everybody that I know. People be like, who doubted you? There's some people that doubted me. I know, friends and family wise have doubted me on a certain few things. And I don't want to say more of my friends. Mostly my friends are family, but my family. There's been some bad blood, so whatever. I know people said some things. I act like I don't hear it. I know you said it. I know. Let me tell you, the best thing to do is to be successful and don't worry about those people who came across dirty to me. So um going out there being successful and just being the best person I could be in society and in the world, because that's what my dad would want me to be. So I'm not putting my head down no more. I'm not sad. A few things that I've learned from accepting that my father is gone and this part of the grieving process is that I am more honest than ever. I can care less how people's feelings are when it comes to my honesty. And I think I'm a better person. I'm a better man. And I am just a doer. I'm a go-getter. I mean, I was always a go-getter and a doer, but oh man, now there's nothing that you There's nothing that I can't do, and there's nothing you can tell me that I can't do. There's nothing. I'm gonna do it. If there's a way that I can do it, I'm gonna do it. So, that being said, grief is a life lesson. Sadness is needed. Sadness makes you realize that you love the person. Grief means that you love the person. You have the ability to love. I used to think that I didn't have the ability to love. But grief taught me that. Sadness has taught me that. But it also taught me now how to work like a freaking dog. I always had that dog in me. Always. But that dog's evolved, man. That dog's evolved. I am way better than what I was. And I'm just so thankful for God for putting that energy into me, giving me that light. So, with that being said, I want you guys to go out there when you're feeling down and out, when you're feeling depressed. One, I want you to talk to people, seek counseling, talk to friends, talk to loved ones, seek somebody that you just want to speak to or that you trust. If you got my phone number, you can always call me, email me, text me. I'm always going to be able to talk to you. I promise you, as long as I'm alive, I will talk to you. I will also say, do something that's going to make you feel better, mentally and physically, no matter what it is. And also be productive about it. Make it be a healthy production. Excuse me, I'm not saying to go drink and smoke all the time. That's one of the little things that you do to cope. Fine, you can do that. Just, enjoy yourself moderately. But do something that's going to be productive to you. So, I think I spoke a lot within a short amount of time. I will break and say this. A few things. One, go out there and vote. The election is coming up in like 3 weeks. Make sure you register and go out there and vote. Very important election. 2, be free. And 3, for everybody out there that's struggling with something, some kind of loss or depression, do not be afraid to get help. Right? So many resources are out there. Do not be afraid to get help. Speak up. If you can't speak up, let me or somebody be around you, be a voice of reasoning for you. Let them speak for you. Write it down. But it's so many resources out here, and I'll let you know you're not alone. You're not alone in these fights and these grieving days, because grief is a bitch. But you're not alone. I promise you. I will not stop fighting for myself and others to be great out here. If you want to run with me sometime, let me know. Look me up on Instagram, Late Night Vibes, Light Skin Key Sweat. I am out, man. Till next episode. See you later.